The Secret of Elven Power. The Question in the Dust.
My dear listener, have you ever stood in a library so vast that the air itself seems thick with forgotten truths? I have. I am Radagast. No, not the one who speaks with beasts and tends to the green things, though I respect that work deeply. I am Radagast the librarian, and my domain is the silent, parchment-scented halls of Minas Tirith's deepest archives. Tonight, I wish to speak of a question that has haunted scholars since the First Age. A question you yourself may have pondered, lying awake under the stars. Why can one elf stand against a Balrog, while another falls to a common orc's arrow? The answer, I have come to believe, lies not in swords or armor, but in fire. Not the fire of forges or dragons, but the imperishable flame, the secret fire that Eru Ilúvatar kindled in the hearts of his children. And tonight, we shall explore why this flame burns so brightly in some, and so dimly in others.
The Three Pillars of Flame.
Let us begin with fundamentals. Every elf possesses the flame. It is the essence of their Fëa, their spirit, but like stars in the sky, some burn with fierce intensity, while others offer but a gentle glow. From my studies, I have discerned three pillars that determine its strength. First, the light of Valinor. Those who beheld the light of the two trees, the Calaquendi, the Elves of Light, were transformed. Their spirits were infused with a radiance that never fully faded. Galadriel, Glorfindel, Fëanor, their inner fire was fed by this sacred fuel. The Moriquendi, the Elves of Darkness, who never made the journey, retained their purity, but lacked this divine catalyst. Second, the line of blood. Heritage matters. The House of Finwë, particularly the line of Fëanor, was blessed or cursed with spirits of exceptional intensity. And then there are those like Lúthien Tinuviel, daughter of an elf and the Maya Melian. Her flame was hybrid, mingled with a spark of angelic power. Third, the will and the weight of years. An elf's spirit does not age, it deepens. 1,000 years of experience temper the Fëa as a smith tempers steel. But will is the crucible. Fëanor used his fire for creation and destruction, Galadriel for preservation and wisdom. The choice of how to wield the flame defines its ultimate power.
The Chronicles of Fire and Sacrifice.
Now, let us turn the page to the Great Chronicles, where theory becomes terrible, beautiful reality. Consider Fëanor, the spirit of fire. The Silmarillion tells us the fire of his spirit burned him. This was no metaphor. His creation of the Silmarils was an act of spiritual alchemy, the capturing of holy light in physical form. And when he fell, his body did not decay. It burned to ash. His inner fire, in its final furious expression, consumed its own vessel. But fire, my dear listener, can take many forms. It can be a destructive inferno, but it can also be a transformative, purifying force. And to see that, we must journey from the charred fields of Fëanor's wrath to the enchanted glades of Doriath. There we find Lúthien Tinuel. Her power was not of the sword, but of the soul. When she stood before Mandos, the doomsman of the Valar, the Chronicles record, then Lúthien laid her face upon his knees, and her song of grief and love moved the very stone of the halls, and Mandos, who had never wept, was silent. Her flame, a pure, selfless love, was so potent it moved the unmoved. It altered the very fate of death itself. Where Fëanor's fire sought to possess the light, Lúthien sought to redeem a life, proving that the greatest power can be found not in domination, but in surrender. Yet, for every flame that consumes or redeems, there is one that stands as a bulwark, a flame that becomes a shield. And this brings us to the golden-haired champion of Gondolin. For what of Glorfindel? His duel with the Balrog was not merely a battle of strength. It was a clash of metaphysical opposites, the holy light of Aman against the fallen fire of the abyss. His sacrifice was so complete, his spirit so potent, that the Valar did not merely restore him, they elevated him. In his Second Age return, as Tolkien confirms in his letters, he was sent back with enhanced power, a being now akin to the Maiar. The Witch King fled not from a warrior, but from a living embodiment of the light that was his antithesis. But for every Glorfindel there is a Maeglin. Heir to royal blood, possessed of a bright flame, yet he chose envy and betrayal. His story is a grim reminder. A powerful spirit can illuminate the path to darkness as easily as the path to light.
The Quiet Flames.
Yet power is not always explosive. Some flames burn low and steady, sustaining rather than consuming. If the fires we have witnessed so far are like blazing comets, then let us now turn to the fixed stars, whose constant light provides guidance through the long ages. Finrod Felagund exemplifies this. His was the flame of loyalty and friendship. When he swore an oath to Beren, he kept it, even unto his death in the dark pits of Sauron. His final battle was not of swords, but of songs of power, a direct contest of wills. His was a quiet, noble sacrifice, a different kind of brilliance from his sisters, but no less potent. And his sister, Galadriel. Tolkien himself wrote she was great among the Noldor, not in stature alone, but in spirit. Her power was not for domination, but for preservation. Lothlórien was not a fortress, it was a memory, a living echo of Eldamar, sustained for millennia by the sheer force of her will. Her rejection of the One Ring was not a refusal of power, but the ultimate affirmation of her own. She was a steward of the flame, not its master, and in that stewardship she found a strength that outlasted kingdoms.
The Cosmic Flame.
Now, let us ascend to the highest mystery.
Having walked among these bright and dark souls, what are we to make of this unequal distribution of their light? What is the nature of this flame in the cosmic design? Eru did not script the deeds of the Eldar. He endowed them with a potential, a brighter, hotter flame. But their free will determined its use. Fëanor's pride, Lúthien's love, Glorfindel's sacrifice, Galadriel's wisdom, these were their choices. Their destinies sprang from their nature, not from external compulsion. They are like massive stars in the firmament of Ea. Their lives are brilliant, their light so intense it can seem brief against the vast canvas of time, and their gravity shapes the orbits of all around them. And what of the other races? Are men and dwarves lesser? No. Ilúvatar gifted men with a different fire, a fleeting, urgent spark that makes their deeds of courage in the face of mortality all the more wondrous. Aragorn needed no elven flame. His strength flowed from the purity of his human heart. The dwarves received a fire of unyielding endurance, a will that could not be broken. It is not a hierarchy of light, but a spectrum.
The flame in the darkness.
So, what then is the lesson for us, the children of a lesser fire, we who burn but for a moment? The legend of the Eldar teaches us that true greatness lies not in the strength to dominate, but in the power of the spirit to choose, to use our inner fire, however brief its flicker, to protect, to create, to love, to be in our own small way like Eärendil, who carried the fire of another into the darkness to become a beacon of hope for all. The great elves were not mere instruments of a divine plan. They were artists of their own souls, and the imperishable flame was both their palette and their paint. They show us that power, in its truest form, is the alignment of a potent spirit with a righteous will. And so we have our answer. An elf falls to an arrow not because he is weak, but because his flame was never meant to be a conflagration. It is a different kind of light for a different purpose.
The last ember.
The fire in my hearth is dying now, and the hour grows late. The archives are silent, save for the whisper of parchment and memory. I cannot tell you the ultimate fate of the elven flame. Perhaps it fades with the dominion of men. Perhaps it travels west to burn eternally in a land beyond our sight. But this I know. Whenever a heart chooses courage over fear, compassion over hatred, or creation over destruction, in that moment, a spark of the imperishable flame kindles anew. It may not be as bright as Fëanor's, or as enduring as Galadriel's, but it is real. And in the vast, cold darkness of this world, even the smallest light is a miracle worth celebrating. Thank you for listening. Until next time, may your own flame burn bright.
And so, my dear listener, we reach the end of tonight's contemplation. I thank you, truly, for lending me your ear and sharing this journey into the hidden fires of the firstborn. I am deeply curious to know your thoughts. Does this theory of the imperishable flame resonate with your own understanding? Who among the Eldar do you believe possessed the brightest spark? The archives are built upon shared knowledge, so I invite you to share your wisdom in the comments below. If these chronicles have illuminated something for you, consider lending your support to the archives. A like, a subscription. It helps others find their way here through the darkness. And know this, I am already deep in research for our next meeting. I have uncovered a tale not of light, but of a different kind of fire altogether, one that is ancient, covetous, and sleeps on a hoard of forgotten gold. I look forward to sharing it with you when next we meet. Until then, may your own flame burn.